Welcome back to our final session of this NXST LEAP webinar series presented by NuParadym. I'm Mark Hefner, the managing partner and your host, and I'm elated you guys are here. Now in this session, we'll be focusing on unleashing patient data with large language models, or LMs, and working with large action models, or LAMs, and we're going to talk about something new called RAG, which is Retrieval Augmented Generation. We talked about LLMs and LAMs in our prior session in part 5, so if you haven't seen that, I'd go back and see that first before you see this one. So everyone, we're moving beyond basic analytics, and we're exploring how cutting-edge AI technologies, specifically large language models, large action models, and retrieval augmented generation, or RAGs, can transform your dental practice while adhering to the strict HIPAA compliance guidelines. We'll discuss how these tools can unlock previously untapped potential within your patient data, ultimately driving growth and growing your EBITDA. So let's get started. How many of you feel like you're sitting on a mountain of data, but unsure how to use it effectively? What do you feel are the biggest missed opportunities when it comes to patient data? Or do you even know it? Do you even do anything with the data you have? A lot of us just have the stuff sitting in our computer systems and we don't have a clue how to use it. Practices are rich in data, from patient histories to x-rays to treatment plans, communication records, and even their preference in how to communicate, just to name a few. But without advanced tools, this data often sits untapped. Traditional methods of analyzing this data are often too complex, time-consuming, and just too hard. This means that you're missing out on better opportunities to understand your patients, personalize their experiences, and grow your practice revenue. I'm sure some of you have been using LLMs in your practice, or maybe at home, or you've seen other examples in other industries of using this technology. Manage your patient data and your patient communications. What LLMs do you know about and use? There are a bunch that are out there. There's like ChatGPT you hear about all the time. You guys also heard about Claude or Anthropic, same company. You guys know Google has AI known as Gemini. They also have another part of it called AI Studios, if you're willing to pay $20 a month. Amazing. And then there's also Grok from X, formerly known as Twitter. In a dental context, this means these systems can analyze patient records to find patterns, create personalized messages, and extract key insights from unstructured data. What's unstructured? Unstructured means the information is scattered all over the place within your computer systems. It can find it, it can use it, and it can do something with it. Again, to the right prompt engineering or prompting strategy. This technology allows you to see what humans can't and opens up a world of opportunities for growth. It's amazing how it can be transformative for you, your team, your practice, and more importantly, your bottom line. While ChatGPT and Gemini currently hold strong positions, or as I like to call them, top of mind awareness for everybody out there, the field is rapidly growing, and there are many models sitting out there. Probably one of you heard about is called DeepSync, but there are many more models out there that you guys can play with. It's critical to stay updated on performance and capabilities of the various LLMs and choose a model that is best suited to the needs of your specific applications. This list I show here is just a starting point. Let us think about it. I use 6 different models with what I do. And the reason is, good example is Gemini is really good at analyzing data. And just so happens, so is ChatGPT on different types of data. But Claude or Anthropic is better at writing. And Grok trains itself on Twitter or X to help drive a lot of its functions. So there are a lot of models to use. Question: what would be the benefit to your practice if you were able to provide personalized experiences, content, and communication for each individual patient. I have always said, if I can get more specific with my communication individually to each of my patients, it'd be phenomenal. When I started off a while ago, we had to have a blanket way of communicating that would fit a general group of people. Let's call it based on their demographics or their psychographics, things we talked about in a prior video. Now I can take those demographics, those psychographics, and their patient history and their information and tie all those pieces together and generate a piece of communication that addresses their specific needs. That one individual, and it'll be totally different, goes out to another patient. That's amazing. Always thought this was so far from happening, and it's happening today. LLMs are powerful on their own. Their power is expanded when combined with retrieval augmented generation. In essence, a RAG acts like a librarian for your LLM. Instead of allowing the LLM to guess, a RAG pulls the most relevant information from your database and feeds it to the LLM to provide a better response. This ensures that the content generated is factual, accurate, and hyper-personalized for each patient based on their specific details. I'm sure some of you have heard about the AI hallucinating. A RAG virtually eliminates that altogether. I won't say 100%, but 98% of the time. So I always recommend you have a human in the loop, but it's amazing what it can do for you and the time and money it can save for you. How much of your current marketing is generalized rather than personalized? How would interactions with patients change if you had access to highly personalized data while maintaining HIPAA compliance? What are some areas of your practice where having targeted information would make the biggest impact? What would it mean to have a platform that could provide you with specific details about each and every patient? What is so special about a RAG, or retrieval augmented generation? It is the key to unlocking real potential. Think of a RAG as a smart assistant for your AI. It allows AI to provide you with accurate, personalized information. When you use a large language model on its own, it relies on a massive amount of data and information that it had been trained on, which are often too broad to be useful in your specific practice and maybe slightly outdated. However, when you pair the same LLM with a RAG, which is your data, things change dramatically. RAG acts like a librarian for the large language model, going into your patient's records and retrieving specific information that is required for the task at hand. Then it augments that information by feeding it to the LLM, which generates information that is based on the data, not just general information. Remember when I said LLMs may be slightly outdated? Well, a RAG is as current as the last entry into the system, which may have happened just minutes ago. Instead of generating generalized content, it generates specific, personalized information for each patient. Instead of just saying, it's important to get regular checkups, the AI can generate specific information based on your patient's unique history of gum disease. It can pull unique information about each patient and incorporate it into its content. Can you just imagine you're working with a patient who has pockets in their gum that are susceptible to tooth decay, gum disease? It can actually say in that email that goes out, well, you've got a 4mm pocket and we haven't seen you in 6 months, and we want to make sure that you keep your teeth. You prevent tooth decay, or you prevent them from having to have a root canal, whatever it might be. By using a RAG, your patients are better informed, your marketing is more effective, and your staff can be more efficient. And best of all, this strategy maintains HIPAA compliance because it's only pulling specific information, not the full patient record. Now let's apply this technology to your practice. Imagine the ability to give a different experience to each patient after reviewing their individual history and creating personalized treatment recommendations in a marketing campaign. Can you identify specific patient segments for specific marketing campaigns? Can you proactively reach out to patients who may be at risk for missed appointments? Can you improve communication with a personalized message and automate some or most of your time-consuming tasks? When these tools are used strategically, they can grow revenue, improve patient satisfaction, and improve operational efficiency. Again, the technology is through the roof, and we're just scratching the surface today. So let's look at a real-world example. Let's say you want to increase patient retention. By combining your patient data with a RAG and a large action model, you can identify all the patients who are in need of deep planing and get them to come in. And you can actually say, when was the last time they had this? What did you see in their last exam? And how this could be beneficial in preventing any other dental issues. You can have a personalized message that is created specifically to that patient, to their unique history, and you can deliver this message via their preferred messaging way. In a prior video, we talked about understanding how our patients want to be communicated with, not what makes it easier for you. This proactive, data-driven approach improves the patient experience and also can increase the revenue for your practice. When working with patient data, it's critical that you maintain HIPAA compliance at every step. Data must be anonymized before it is fed into an LLM. RAG technology can only share specific data that it needs for the task. You must ensure that all the data is stored in a HIPAA compliant system and that proper consent is received from the patient. Regular audits and training with staff should also be done to ensure compliance on all fronts. It's not about trading compliance for innovation, but about innovating responsibly. So what are the key factors that drive profitability in your practice? How could these new innovations increase those factors? By implementing LLMs, LAMs, and RAG in a way that is compliant with HIPAA regulations, you'll see an increase in patient satisfaction that'll translate significantly into patient retention. With a better understanding of your patients and their history, you'll see an increase in case acceptance. Your staff will be more efficient due to streamlined processes. When all of these data points are combined, you will see a dramatic increase in revenue. By focusing on data-driven decision-making, you can continuously optimize your practice and see dramatic growth over the long term. So really think about it. What are the best use cases you can think of to start implementing some of this technology? What are your biggest concerns as you think about implementing AI into your practice? The power of large language models, large action models, retrieval augmented generation can be transformative. And the best way to get started is to look for an expert. Now, let me tell you one thing about experts in this field. You're not going to find someone who has 20 years. You're going to find someone who has maybe 2.5, 3 years. Because you got to remember, this just came out as the way we know it today at the end of November of 2022. So people are still learning on the fly, and stuff is changing on a weekly basis. I talked about it earlier. What I knew about large language models and LAMs was different 90 days ago and will probably be different 90 days from now. That doesn't mean to be afraid of it. That just means you need to understand it. The better understanding you have, the better ability you will have to bend and flex to the changes. It's only getting better. It's not getting harder. That's what's the beauty of this. What you got to do is just simply pick one small part of your practice to improve. Find technology providers that specialize in HIPAA compliant AI systems. Train your staff to use the system. Monitor the progress and continuously update the systems as new technology becomes available. I know there's organizations out there that are encouraging their staff to work with large language models or LLMs, giving them the time to play with it, because these organizations understand the better their team knows how to use it, the better their business will grow overall. As you learn and grow with these new technologies, your practice will continue to grow and transform into a highly efficient, optimized practice with patients who will enjoy the journey. The main points we kind of talked about here was large language models, large action models, and a retrieval augmented generation, and how it can unlock vast potentials of patient data. Really think about this technology will help you increase efficiencies and revenue. It'll also help you remain HIPAA compliant. And coming back to, you should always be embracing data-driven decisions, and these will be based on the power of AI and relying less on your gut. The combination of the three, LLMs, LAMs, and RAGs, create a powerful platform for understanding your patients and growing your practice. By using these systems strategically and responsibly, while also maintaining HIPAA compliance, you can unlock your practice's true potential and see significant growth. Guys, it's not about the technology itself. It's about the transformation that the technology can create for your business. We've talked about a lot in this 6-part series, but if you want to go deeper, take a screenshot of the QR code and download our ebook. It's 20 pages and it's packed with useful tips and valuable information you can use with your practice. I really want to thank you guys. And if you want to talk more, take a snapshot of the QR code or send me an email at mhefner@NuParadym, NuParadym.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn at Mark Hefner. Look forward to talking to you in the future. Thanks and have a wonderful day.